Here's something nobody tells you about e-bikes. Last year, a 47-year-old accountant named Mark bought one thinking it would just be a fun weekend toy. 6 months later, he'd lost 30 pounds, saved over $3,000 on gas, and hadn't driven his car to work once. But here's the crazy part. He almost bought the wrong e-bike, and it would have sat in his garage collecting dust like most failed fitness equipment. If you're watching this, you're probably minutes away from making the same mistake Mark almost made. And with e-bike searches up 46% this year, millions of people are about to waste their money. So let me save you from that disaster. The e-bike industry has a dirty little secret. There are 5 types of e-bikes out there, but salespeople will push you toward whichever one makes them the most commission, not the one you actually need. Let's fix that right now. First up, pedal assist e-bikes. These are the ones that only give you power when you're actually pedaling. Think of it like having a constant tailwind. You're still exercising, but that brutal hill that made you want to quit cycling, it just became manageable. These are perfect if you want fitness benefits without arriving at work drenched in sweat. Then there's throttle e-bikes. These have a twist grip or thumb throttle, just like a motorcycle. No pedaling required. You can literally sit there and cruise. Now, before you think that's cheating, consider this. These are life-changing for people with knee problems, older riders, or anyone recovering from an injury. They're also incredible for cargo hauling when you're tired. Class 1 e-bikes max out at 20 miles per hour with pedal assist. Class 2 adds a throttle but keeps that 20 mile per hour limit. Class 3, these beasts go up to 28 miles per hour, but here's the catch, you usually need to pedal. They're perfect for longer commutes, but check your local laws because some bike paths ban them. Then you've got cargo e-bikes, the SUVs of the e-bike world. These things can haul groceries, kids, or even a small refrigerator. I've seen parents completely ditch their second car after buying one of these. And finally, folding e-bikes. These are genius for anyone with limited storage, apartment dwellers, or people who need to combine biking with public transport. They're compact, but don't sleep on them. Some can still hit 20 miles per hour. But here's where 90% of people mess up. They choose the type based on what looks cool, not on what they'll actually use. Ask yourself this, what's your main goal? Commuting? Fitness? Errands? That answer determines everything. Now let's talk about the battery, because this is where the magic happens, or where your dreams die. E-bike batteries are measured in watt-hours. Most range from 300 to 700 watt-hours. Here's the real-world translation. A 400 watt-hour battery gives you roughly 20 to 40 miles of range, but that's under perfect conditions. Reality, if you're a heavier rider going uphill against wind in cold weather using full throttle, that range can drop by 50%. I'm not trying to scare you, I'm trying to save you from running out of battery 5 miles from home. Here's the insider trick. Buy a battery with at least 1.5 times the range you think you need. Planning a 10-mile commute? Get a battery rated for at least 30 miles. This does 2 things. Gives you buffer for real-world conditions and extends your battery's lifespan because you're not draining it completely every ride. Battery lifespan is typically 500 to 1,000 charge cycles. Treat your battery right and it'll last 3 to 5 years. Treat it wrong, you're looking at a $500 to $800 replacement in 18 months. 3 battery killers you need to avoid. Storing it completely dead, leaving it in extreme heat or cold, and charging it to 100%, then letting it sit for weeks. The sweet spot? Keep it between 20 and 80% when storing long-term and never let it freeze. Charging time matters too. Most batteries take 3 to 6 hours for a full charge. Pro tip, charge overnight, but don't leave it plugged in for days after it's full. Get a timer outlet if you're forgetful. Now, maintenance. Here's what the e-bike shops won't tell you because they want you coming back constantly. E-bikes need less maintenance than you think, but the maintenance they do need is critical. Every week, check your tire pressure. Underinflated tires kill your range faster than anything else. Keep them at the max PSI listed on the tire sidewall. Every month, clean and lube your chain. A dirty chain wastes up to 10% of your battery power. That's the difference between making it home or walking the last 2 miles. Every 3 months, check your brake pads. E-bikes are heavier than regular bikes and you're going faster. Worn brakes on an e-bike aren't just annoying, they're dangerous. Once a year, take it to a shop for a full inspection. They'll check your spokes, bearings, and electrical connections. This $100 service can prevent a $500 disaster. Here's something crucial about the electrical system. These bikes have error codes just like cars. If your display starts showing weird symbols, don't panic. Most problems are simple: loose connection, dirty sensor, or a setting that got changed accidentally. Check your manual before paying for a repair. Now let's talk money, because this is where it gets interesting. Budget e-bikes, $600 to $1,200. Brands like Ancheer, Nocto, or Swagtron. They'll work, but expect cheaper components, shorter range, and maybe issues after a year. These are fine if you're testing the waters or have a short, flat commute. Mid-range, $1,200 to $2,500. This is the sweet spot. Brands like Rad Power Bikes, Aventon, or Ride One Up. You're getting quality components, decent range, good customer service, and a bike that'll last years with basic maintenance. Premium, $2,500 to $5,000. Trek, Specialized, Cannondale. You're paying for refined engineering, better range, lighter weight, and top-tier components. Worth it if you're riding daily or doing serious distances. Luxury, $5,000 and up. These are the sports cars of e-bikes. Carbon frames, integrated batteries, fancy suspension. Unless you're a serious enthusiast, your money is better spent elsewhere. Here's a reality check. A $1,500 e-bike that you actually ride beats a $4,000 bike that intimidates you into leaving it in the garage. So, why are e-bikes exploding right now? 3 reasons. 1, gas prices. Even with electricity costs, charging an e-bike costs about 5 cents per charge. Compare that to filling a gas tank. 2, health without suffering. You get 80% of the fitness benefits of regular cycling without the intimidation factor that keeps people from starting. And 3, they're just stupidly fun. That first time you cruise up a hill that would have destroyed you on a regular bike, that's the moment people get hooked. But here's my final warning. Don't buy the first e-bike you see on sale. The worst e-bikes share 3 red flags: no-name battery cells, no local service options, and prices that seem too good to be true. Test ride before you buy. If a company won't let you test ride, walk away. Your body needs to feel comfortable on this machine. Check the warranty. Good e-bikes have at least a 1-year warranty on electronics and 2 years on the frame. Read reviews from actual owners, not just the company website. Real people will tell you about problems that marketing won't. The e-bike you choose today could change your entire lifestyle tomorrow. Choose wisely, ride safely, and welcome to the future of transportation.